God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My beloved son, listen to me carefully, because now I speak directly to the most hidden place of your heart, the place where you cried in silence when no one saw, where your soul bent under exhaustion and yet kept going. I saw every tear that fell when you no longer had the strength to ask for help out loud, and none of them were wasted. I know the thoughts that visited you in the early hours of the morning, the questions you never dared to voice, the fears you tried to disguise with courage so you could keep moving forward. None of this went unnoticed by me. I was with you when you believed you were alone, when you thought the heavens had closed, and when your faith seemed too small to carry the weight of the days. Do you feel that you are ready for a deep change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors to the abundance, the peace, and the blessings that God has already prepared for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inside and reflects on the outside. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, spiritual and material, click the first comment. There you will find a simple practice, guided with love, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. I did not withdraw at any moment. I was simply working in silence, aligning paths, closing doors that would wound you, and preparing the ground where today I plant this word. The silence that unsettled you was not abandonment, it was care. The waiting time was not delay, it was protection. I gathered your sighs, strengthened your spirit when your body could no longer respond, and upheld your steps when walking felt impossible. Now receive this certainty: I am still with you, guiding you, healing you, and lifting you up, because as it is written, this poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. Psalm 34 verse 6. Comment: I believe that God heard me when I cried in silence. For a long time, you carried burdens I never asked you to carry, invisible weights that accumulated day after day as you tried to be strong for everyone, to sustain stories that were not yours, and to meet expectations that drained your joy. Even tired, you kept going, because your heart is loyal and your soul does not know the language of giving up. I saw when you smiled so as not to worry others, when you said, "It's okay," while something was breaking inside, when you withdrew in silence so as not to be a burden, believing that enduring was the only way to love. I know every effort you made to appear whole when you were wounded, every night you laid your tired body down with a restless mind, wondering how long you could keep going. Today I call you to release what weighs you down, to let fall what no longer belongs to you, to rest in the place where you do not need to prove worth, strength, or merit. I do not call you to diminish yourself, but to lighten you. This is the time when I gently remove from your hands what has already fulfilled its purpose and no longer needs to be sustained. Do not fear what is released, because what I place in your hands now is lighter, more honest, and deeply aligned with who you truly are. Comment: I surrender to God the burdens I no longer need to carry. Nothing you faced was in vain. No pain was wasted, no tear fell unseen, no silence went unnoticed. No loss canceled what I wrote about you even before you were born. because my word does not return empty and my purpose is not lost along the way. What looked like destruction to your eyes was, in truth, careful preparation. What sounded like delay was loving protection. While you thought everything was being taken from you, I was digging deep, strengthening your roots, expanding your inner structure so you would be able to sustain what is about to bloom without breaking. As my word says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, Romans chapter 8 verse 28. Even when you did not understand it at the time, I was aligning circumstances, closing doors that would wound you, breaking old cycles, and uprooting invisible roots that would hinder your growth. The ground shook because something new needed space to be born. The discomfort was a sign of expansion. The pain was a sign of transition. Nothing was random. Everything was care. Comment, I trust that everything works together for my good. I know there were days when you asked whether there was still purpose, whether your story had not been interrupted too soon, whether the most important chapters had already passed without you noticing. I know the weariness weighed on your soul and made you question your own identity, your worth, and even the reason to continue. But listen to me carefully, you are not what happened to you, you are what I declared over you. The falls did not erase your value, they only revealed your need for me. The mistakes did not define your future, they taught you to depend less on yourself and more on my grace. The season of confusion was not wasted, it was a path that led you to a deeper place in me. Now I reposition you with love and precision. It is not punishment, it is alignment. It is not loss, it is transition. It is not an end, it is redirection. I am taking you out of small places, out of limits that could no longer contain who you have become, to lead you into spaces where your faith will be greater than your fear and your confidence greater than your doubts. There is a rebirth happening within you, even if you cannot yet see it fully, even if your eyes are still adjusting to the light of this new season. Something is being rebuilt by hands that do not fail, with care, truth, and permanence. I am restoring areas you thought were dead, touching old wounds with healing, rekindling gifts that were silenced by pain and fear, and giving life back to dreams that were set aside simply so you could survive. As it is written, Behold, I make all things new, Revelation chapter 21 verse 5. What is being born now does not carry the weight of the marks of the past, it carries the strength of redemption, maturity, and the wisdom that only the process produces. You will not return to the same place, because I do not remake stories in the same way, I transform them completely. What is coming will not be fragile as before, it will be firm. It will not be impulsive, it will be guided. It will not be driven by fear, but by the certainty that I am still with you, sustaining every step of the new that has already begun. Comment, God is doing something new in me. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. Perhaps you still feel afraid of what lies ahead, not because of a lack of faith, but because you have been wounded before. I understand your caution. I see how past disappointments taught you to guard your heart, to move slowly, to question what once came easily. But I want you to know this time, I am the one going before you. You are not stepping into the unknown alone. The doors that close will not be losses, they will be protection. They are not endings, but acts of deliverance from what would have harmed you in ways you could not yet see. And the opportunities that open will not come to confuse your mind or divide your heart, they will come to align you with my purpose, with truth, and with peace. Trust the rhythm I am establishing in your life. Not everything needs to happen at once, and not every answer needs to arrive immediately. There are processes that grow best in silence, roots that strengthen underground before anything is visible above the surface. Rest your anxious thoughts. Release the need to control outcomes. I am overseeing every detail that still feels uncertain to you, weaving even the unseen moments into something meaningful and secure. Comment: I rest in God's control and direction. My son, the emptiness you felt was not absence, it was space. I needed to empty you in order to fill you again. I needed to cleanse what was heavy so I could plant what is living. I needed to break what was fragile so I could rebuild what is lasting. Just as it is written, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30 verse 5. The night was long, and I know how deeply it tired your soul. I saw you endure hours that felt endless, seasons that seemed silent, moments where hope felt distant. But the morning has arrived. With it comes clarity where there was confusion, renewed strength where there was exhaustion, and a peace that does not depend on circumstances or outcomes. This peace settles gently, reminding you that you are safe, guided, and seen. What awaits you ahead is greater than what you left behind. It carries more wisdom, more stability, and more truth. The past prepared you, but it does not define you. What I am bringing into your life now reflects growth, healing, and a deeper alignment with who you truly are becoming. Comment: I believe God's joy is already on its way. You were not forgotten. Not for a single moment. Every whispered prayer, every thought lifted toward heaven, every silent tear was gathered with care. Nothing you offered in vulnerability was ignored. I am arranging meetings, opening paths, and repositioning people around you in ways that serve your growth and protect your heart. When I am involved, nothing is random and nothing is wasted. Even when you do not perceive my movement, I am at work. Even when doubt tries to speak louder, I am sustaining you quietly and faithfully. Your story did not stop, it simply entered a season of invisible preparation. While you thought nothing was happening, foundations were being strengthened and timing was being aligned. Now, the first signs of fruit are beginning to appear. Small at first, perhaps subtle, but real. Trust what is unfolding. What is emerging now carries intention, purpose, and care. You are stepping into a chapter shaped by patience and guided by my hand, and what grows from this season will endure far beyond what you can currently imagine. Comment: God is working even when I cannot see. I call you to live a new season. Do not carry the guilt of what has already been forgiven. Do not remain tied to older versions of yourself that no longer reflect who you are becoming. I see you not through the lens of your past, but through the purpose unfolding within you now. Just as it is written, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old things have passed away. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. Walk forward with confidence. There is authority in your voice, purpose in your steps, and grace resting upon your life. Heaven is in motion on your behalf, aligning moments, strengthening your faith, and opening paths that reflect the growth within you. What once held you back no longer has power over you. You are free to move forward without fear, without shame, and without hesitation. This new season is not something you must earn, it is something you are invited to receive. Step into it with trust, knowing that you are guided, supported, and deeply loved in every stage of the journey. Comment: I accept the new season God has prepared for me. This is the time of harvest. The time when what was sown with tears begins to be gathered with joy. Remain steady. Remain attentive to my voice. Do not rush the process, and do not fear the future. I am the same one who sustained you in the valley and who now leads you toward the mountain. Everything I promised, I will fulfill. Everything I touched, I transformed. And everything I place in your hands now comes accompanied by my presence. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. What unfolds from this moment forward is rooted in faithfulness, strengthened by endurance, and sealed with love. Trust what is growing, even if it is still forming. I am with you in every step, every pause, and every victory, ensuring that what you receive is not only a blessing, but a reflection of my faithfulness and care over your life. Comment: I fully trust in God's love and promises. Listen deeply, because what I am speaking to you now is meant to settle into the very core of who you are. Everything that collapsed around you did not diminish what I placed within you. The breaking was not a verdict on your worth, nor was the loss a sign that you were lacking. What seemed to fall apart was never the source of your strength. I allowed certain structures to give way because they could no longer sustain what you are becoming. You wondered if something essential had been taken from you, if the best part of your story was buried under rubble. But I tell you this with certainty, nothing vital was lost. What I am forming now is stronger, clearer, and far more aligned with the original purpose that shaped you. You were not reduced, you were refined. Even in the confusion, I was preserving what mattered most, guarding the parts of you that would one day carry greater weight. This is not an ending disguised as hope, it is a beginning born through wisdom. I have led you to this place intentionally, because now is the moment to rebuild with awareness, direction, and favor. No longer will you move forward bracing for collapse, fearing that stability is temporary. I am anchoring you in a different kind of certainty, one that does not rise and fall with circumstances. The peace I am giving you is not fragile, it is rooted in my presence. Where you see ruins, I see foundations ready to be reinforced. Where you see weakness, I see space for strength to take form. I am not restoring what was exactly as it was. I am constructing something that can endure storms you have not yet encountered. You will notice that your steps feel steadier, not because life has become simple, but because you are no longer carrying it alone. Trust this process. What I am building will not betray you. There were moments when you looked at the remains of your past and believed nothing good could rise from them. Yet I specialize in breathing life where only dust appears to remain. I am renewing areas you considered beyond repair, touching places you had learned to avoid just to survive. Your story is not defined by its losses, those were chapters, not the conclusion. Each page, even the painful ones, has been preparing you for this turning point. Hold this truth firmly: your history does not disqualify you, it equips you. I am rewriting your narrative with intention, weaving purpose into every fragment. The pain did not erase you, it shaped your compassion, your discernment, your depth. What you endured will not be wasted. It will become the very language through which healing flows to you and through you. There were days when you believed my silence meant absence, when the quiet felt heavier than the struggle itself. You walked forward unsure, questioning whether you were truly seen. But even when you were unaware, I was beside you. The silence was not neglect, it was protection. There were battles you did not have to fight, outcomes you did not have to endure, because I was holding them at bay. Now the quiet begins to break, not to overwhelm you, but to lift you. What once confused you will soon make sense. You will recognize that the delay was not denial, and the stillness was not abandonment. It was an interval, necessary, intentional, and filled with unseen work. I am calling you to rise now, not because you are finally strong enough, but because the time has come. Understand this clearly: nothing you suffered was meaningless. No tear fell unnoticed, no ache went unfelt. I have counted every moment you thought you were enduring alone. I am transforming what hurt you into something that will sustain you. The restoration underway is not superficial, it reaches into the depths of your soul, healing wounds you buried so deeply you forgot they existed. I am releasing you from old emotional prisons, dissolving weights you carried for years without realizing how heavy they had become. You will feel lighter, not because your past has been erased, but because it no longer controls you. There is a future before you, real, living, full of possibility. Dreams you abandoned out of fear or pain are stirring again. What once went dark is being reignited. Nothing truly ends when I choose to continue. Nothing is ever lost when I restore beyond measure. I know what was taken from you, what was spoken over you, and what you began to believe about yourself after repeated falls. Today, I am correcting those lies. My view of you has never shifted, not for a single moment. I was present in every detail, even on the days you were certain you could not go on. You thought your perseverance was insignificant, but standing when you wanted to give up revealed a strength many never discover. That resilience was not accidental, it was placed within you from the beginning. Circumstances may have muted it, but they could not destroy it. That strength is awakening again, because it is part of the rebuilding I have prepared. You are not who you once thought you were. You are more capable, more grounded, more resilient than you realize. I have seen exactly where you were wounded, how long you endured, and how that pain reshaped the way you saw yourself. Now I am reorganizing what lies within and around you. What hurt you will no longer threaten you. Those who did not remain were not meant to walk into this next season with you. New paths are opening, paths marked by grace rather than exhaustion, by alignment rather than strain. The light rising over your life is not fleeting, it is a dawn that will warm even the coldest memories. What you learned in the darkness will become wisdom in the light. Your story is not static, it has reached a decisive turn. Doors that closed were never aligned with where you are being led. What I am opening is wider, deeper, and more fitting than anything you imagined. Reconstruction does not begin when you feel ready, it begins when I decide to restore, and that decision has been made. Your renewal is already in motion. Release the burden of fixing everything alone. Entrust me with the wounds that still ache. There is no damage too deep for me to transform into victory. Nothing that went wrong has erased the original design. I only redirected your steps to protect you. Even now, while you think little is changing, profound renewal is unfolding. What is coming will confirm that this season was not the end, it was the preparation. Listen closely, for I am speaking to the deepest part of your soul, the place where you have held your questions, your fears, and your hopes in silence. Every moment you believed you were alone, I was with you, shaping the path beneath your feet. The trials that seemed endless, the nights when despair whispered that all was lost, have been preparing you for a season unlike any before. I have been aligning circumstances, moving people into place, and opening doors that you could not yet imagine. What once felt like abandonment was in truth divine preparation. What seemed like failure was a rehearsal for the strength you now carry. As you step forward, do so with the confidence that this season is different, that the ground you are about to walk upon has been fortified for your steps. Expect miracles, for they are already in motion, and trust that even the unseen will soon reveal itself in the fullness of its timing. The hope you have carried quietly is now being awakened. You have grown accustomed to measuring your dreams by the limits of what seemed possible, shaped by a history of prolonged suffering. But I tell you now, dream bigger, hope higher, and believe with renewed intensity. The blessings that await you surpass your imagination. Victory is approaching, not through the labor of your own strength alone, but through the orchestration of forces beyond your comprehension. You will witness the transformation of your perspective, the renewal of your mind, and the deepening of your courage. Every experience that brought pain, every moment that tested your endurance, has been a stitch in the fabric of this forthcoming reality. You are being elevated, not merely lifted. You are being positioned on a foundation that will allow you to stand with grace in ways you never thought possible. Do not fear the new horizons that I place before you. The rebuilding you are about to experience requires letting go of the past, releasing the shadows of regret, and embracing what lies ahead with a heart free from hesitation. The brokenness you once felt will become the source of your testimony. The shame you carried will transform into a beacon of inspiration, showing others that renewal is not only possible but inevitable when guided by divine timing. Allow the relief that is stirring within you to take root deeply. It is not fleeting, it is the assurance that the chapter you have endured is closing, making way for a period of unprecedented clarity and strength. The hands that trembled under the weight of yesterday are now ready to receive the blessings prepared specifically for you, precisely when you are ready to hold them. Understand that this process is not about forgetting the past but transcending it. Every challenge, every wound, every hardship has its place in the mosaic of your greater purpose. Watch closely as the connections, opportunities, and moments of insight begin to emerge around you, often in ways that seem serendipitous but are in fact the culmination of careful orchestration. Each encounter, each aligned circumstance, has been a step toward restoring balance and harmony in your life. The people who enter your path, the doors that open, and the clarity that arrives are not accidents. They are the manifestation of a divine design that has been quietly at work while you persisted through seasons of uncertainty. The restoration taking place within you is comprehensive, affecting every facet of your being. It is the result of steadfast, unseen work, a labor that does not call attention to itself but produces undeniable results. Stay vigilant, yet remain in peace. The rush and anxiety that once characterized your life belong to a cycle that is ending. What comes next will be built upon calmness, trust, and a patient confidence that each step is being directed with precision. Before anything extraordinary can be established, the old must be removed, not as punishment, but as protection. Do not misinterpret the temporary absence of comfort as rejection. It has been preservation. You are being equipped for something far greater than you have known, something that demands a renewed heart, sharpened mind, and an elevated perspective. Though it may have felt like time was lost, every second has been necessary. The pain you endured has cultivated discernment. The stumbles you faced have developed resilience. Loneliness has nurtured spiritual sensitivity, a trait that will now become your greatest ally. Nothing has been wasted, and nothing is meaningless. The reconstruction within you reaches depths that even you may not fully perceive, lighting up areas of your life that once seemed dark or forgotten. With every word you absorb now, a movement begins within you, a reorganization of strength and clarity that replaces uncertainty and doubt with confidence and vision. The hopes that seemed fragile are reigniting. The enthusiasm that seemed distant is breathing again. When I bring transformation, nothing remains clouded or incomplete. What once seemed limited or fragmented is now being made whole. Your wounds, which once defined your boundaries, are being transformed into markers of victory. Recognize that your journey has been exceptional. Many face trials similar to yours and falter, yet you have persevered, even when it seemed that all around you was crumbling. This perseverance was never yours alone. It was seated within you before you even came into this world, anchored in a source that no force can destroy. That essence, carefully placed within you, is now awakening, expanding, and fortifying you to receive the new blessings I am bringing forth. Some doors remained closed because the timing was not yet right, and some gifts required maturity, wisdom, and readiness to sustain them. The lessons learned in hardship have been preparing you for this precise moment. Your character has been refined, your perception sharpened, and your emotional and spiritual resilience strengthened. Many things did not unfold as you hoped, not due to incapacity, but because the moment had not yet arrived. Now, as you stand ready, all that you have endured takes its rightful place in the blueprint of your life. Your patience, your faith, and your perseverance have been cultivated for this very season. The clarity you sought, the peace you yearned for, and the fulfillment you dreamed of are now within reach. Walk forward, knowing that you are fully equipped to embrace all that has been promised, and that every step will be guided with intention, every encounter orchestrated for your highest good. So, as you move into this new chapter, carry with you the understanding that everything you experienced, both the joy and the pain, has been part of a divine strategy. There is a power working within you, a force that rearranges obstacles, strengthens resolve, and illuminates the path ahead. What once seemed like destruction was actually preparation. What seemed like delay was protection. Your journey has forged a depth of insight and fortitude that few ever achieve. Now, rise with confidence, for you are entering a season of restoration, renewal, and unprecedented favor. Embrace it fully, for it is your moment, carefully prepared and abundantly blessed. There is an identity within you that must rise and claim its place. For years, you have viewed yourself through the lens of pain, through the filter of harsh words, through the weight of losses endured and disappointments felt, but know this, none of these things define you. They are not the story I wrote for you. You are more than the reflections of your failures and the shadows of your past. I have watched every moment, even when you could not see me, and I have carried your heart through storms you believed were insurmountable. The struggles you endured were never in vain. Each trial was a shaping force, molding you for the greatness that now calls you forward. The parts of you that seemed broken, the dreams that were postponed, the hopes that were crushed, they are all being restored, refined, and strengthened in ways you have yet to understand. As you read these words, know that your current season is not defined by limitation, but by the unfolding of the plan I have carefully orchestrated. You have survived so much, and now the time has come to rise into a fullness you have only glimpsed in quiet moments of longing and prayer. I want you to begin seeing yourself through a new lens, one that captures the strength, the worth, and the resilience I have placed inside you. Your ability to reinvent yourself, to shine even in darkness, is your true essence. The falls you have experienced have not dimmed your brilliance, the losses you mourned have not canceled your destiny, and the failures you feared would define you have not interrupted the purpose I have set. Every circumstance that shook your world was, in truth, a preparation for the elevation that awaits. The reconstruction taking place is not simply about restoring what was lost, it is about a transformation that will carry you to levels of understanding, awareness, and capability you could not have imagined. This transformation is both inward and outward. The healing of emotions, the repair of memories, the lifting of burdens that have clung to you for years, these are the invisible foundations I am placing. And while you may feel uncertainty as the old is removed, remember that fear is a natural companion to growth. What is emerging within you is already aligned and ready to take shape in your life. There is a joy that has been withheld, one you have not yet allowed yourself to feel because you carried the weight of others' expectations and the fear of conflict. But now, this joy, authentic and unrestrained, is rising from within you. Your laughter will no longer be a mask. Your smile will be an expression of the liberation you have long sought. The voice that once stayed silent, suppressed by insecurity, will now speak with clarity and courage. The self that you once diminished will begin to recognize its true purpose, to uplift, to inspire, and to impact with intention and love. This is a turning point where past limitations cease to hold authority over you. The patterns that hindered your growth, the cycles of doubt and pain, the generational shadows, all are being broken. You are stepping into a space where every step, every choice, and every thought is guided by precision and divine alignment. What you once believed to be the end of the road is actually the threshold to your greatest advancement. While you may feel emptiness in certain moments, understand that this void is fertile ground for extraordinary creation. The spaces you perceive as lacking are in truth spaces that have been prepared for new experiences, new blessings, and a deeper understanding of your potential. Time, which may have felt delayed, is in perfect synchronization with the unfolding of your destiny. The promises that remain unfulfilled were never forgotten. They were preserved for this precise moment when your readiness aligns with their arrival. The past will no longer dictate your present, and the wounds that once seemed insurmountable will no longer have dominion over your spirit. Your mind will be renewed, your heart fortified, and your steps guided with clarity. From this moment forward, your life will begin to reveal its coherence, its direction, and its abundant grace. You are no longer wandering through confusion. You are entering a landscape of clarity and purpose. Every experience, even those that caused profound pain, has contributed to the wisdom and resilience now blossoming within you. The silence you endured, which at times felt like neglect, was actually a sacred space for growth. In that stillness, I cultivated patience, understanding, and strength in your soul. Each moment of waiting, each unanswered question, each tear shed in solitude was an investment in your capacity to endure, to learn, and to triumph. This is why the timing of your transformation is so precise. What you receive now is not a mere restoration of what was lost, but a comprehensive elevation that prepares you to embrace the fullness of your calling. I am not merely returning you to the beginning. I am guiding you forward into a future more abundant and luminous than you have ever imagined. The chapters being written in your life now will reflect resilience, victory, and the profound beauty of a heart that refused to give in. The new reality being established in you does not simply fill the empty spaces left by loss, it expands them, enlarging the capacity of your heart, your spirit, and your vision. Your emotional depth will increase, your spiritual insight will deepen, and your steadfastness will become more apparent to yourself and to those around you. This reconstruction is not temporary. It is designed to endure and to support your growth for years to come. What is emerging in your life is not a replacement but an elevation. You are being shaped into someone more complete, more self-aware, and more capable of holding and manifesting the gifts that were always intended for you. The process may feel slow at times, and the change may be imperceptible on certain days, but know that each step is deliberate, precise, and infused with purpose. I do not return you to where you once were. I propel you forward while you continue to listen. Allow these words to take root in your heart. Accept this transformation with openness and faith. The small flicker of belief you have maintained, even amidst doubt, will now ignite opportunities and doors previously unseen. The sensitivity you once regarded as weakness is now an instrument of discernment and guidance. Your experiences, your triumphs, and even your struggles contribute to the design I have envisioned for you. Every challenge you faced has left a mark that now serves as a beacon for growth, teaching, and illumination. You are not the sum of your setbacks but the culmination of divine intention expressed in your life. The unfolding of this purpose is visible now, and it demands your attention, your courage, and your willingness to embrace what is coming. Your battles were never meaningless. They forged wisdom that is now becoming your guiding light. A new perspective is opening within you, one that allows you to receive the fullness of what has been prepared. You will no longer view your days as repetitions of the past but as fresh opportunities to step into clarity, confidence, and renewal. Each dawn will reveal a strength you did not know you possessed. Your mind will find quiet, your heart will achieve stability, and the subtle details you once overlooked will be arranged perfectly. This reconstruction, both subtle and profound, is crafting a life in which you are not merely surviving but thriving, where each step is intentional, each decision aligned, and each moment filled with the potential of growth and joy. Finally, understand that nothing you have experienced has truly diminished you. Every hardship, every setback, every moment of despair has been recorded in the fabric of your being and is now being woven into a story of triumph and divine orchestration. Your vision will expand, and you will look back with gratitude rather than regret, recognizing that every step, even those shrouded in pain, led you to a place of emergence